to tighten control of the internet by cracking down on influencers and censoring even more content online. Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. This episode is sponsored by Surfshark. You should be using a VPN like Surfshark to protect yourself whenever you go online. So, the Chinese Communist Party is obsessed with controlling the media. Every single newspaper, TV network, and radio station is censored, whether it's state-run or so-called privately owned. But that's not enough to ensure the party's message gets through, and that no one else's does. The party now wants to also control every single live streamer. People do shows on online platforms like Xiaohongshu and Taobao Live. And China has a lot of influencers. As of 2020, there were at least 130 million live stream accounts in China. Many of them are very influential. People like Li Jiaqi, also known as Austin Li. He's a beauty influencer with 40 million fans on Douyin, China's version of TikTok. Around 700 million people in China watch live streams of various types, and live streaming influencers like Austin Li have been able to sell tons of products. He once sold 15,000 lipsticks in just 5 minutes. Live streaming in China is a $180 billion industry. It drives 10% of China's e-commerce revenue. For years, state media heaped praise on these mostly young entrepreneurs as examples of Chinese innovation. The CCP even used top live streamers like Austin Li in state-run propaganda shows and social media campaigns.
然后呢，同时也祝 CGTN 的观众朋友们2020新年快乐，一切顺心。
But recently, things have changed. Live streaming influencers are now in the party's crosshairs. Austin Li found this out the hard way earlier in June, when he live-streamed an ice cream dessert shaped like a tank on the eve of the Tiananmen Square massacre anniversary. That got him yanked offline. He hasn't been seen since, at least as of this recording. Funny thing is, Li's team and his fans weren't even aware of the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre. So pulling him out inadvertently introduced fans to what happened in Tiananmen, because of course fans would want to know why their favorite celebrity was banned. And to understand that, they had to learn a bit of uncomfortable history. It would really be so much easier for the Communist Party if they could just control live streamers' content from the start. And that's exactly what the party is trying to do now. I'll explain how after the break. Welcome back. The Chinese Communist Party wants to exert more control and censorship over influencers and live streaming. One way they're doing it is by drafting a code of conduct for online presenters. According to China's State Administration of Radio and Television and the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, this code is intended to regulate behavior and practice, strengthen social responsibility, establish a positive image, and to jointly create an online space that is positive and uplifting, healthy and orderly, harmonious and clean. Which is a nice way of writing, we will control everything you say. Influencers can't show excessive horror, be too sexually provocative, flaunt wealth, promote smoking or drinking, gossip, or waste food. So, no more mukbang? The guidelines are also strict on making sure published content doesn't weaken the CCP's leadership. Because if there's anything that could weaken the world's most powerful authoritarian regime, it's live streamers. This policy is reinforced by telling live streamers that they must adhere to correct political orientation, values, and perspective, and that they must practice core socialist values. Yes, sell as many products as you can, but adhere to core socialist values. Doesn't stop there. The Code of Conduct also demands that people who want to discuss medical care, finance, law, or education first must prove they have corresponding practice qualifications. Live streaming platforms are now responsible for reviewing each live streamer's qualifications before they can broadcast, because you wouldn't want For example, an investigative journalist looking into the origins of a deadly virus and its cover-up. That ought to require an approved medical doctor. After all, do you really want average, everyday people spreading false information? Of course not. Spreading false information is the job of the Chinese Communist Party. Like when they say Hong Kong was never a British colony. What the CCP really wants, of course, is to keep live streamers in line. According to a former censor at Weibo, China's version of Twitter, the guidelines are obviously a response to the scandal surrounding Austin Lee's disappearance. Now, technically, this new code of conduct is just a draft, but it outlines what could end up being law at some point soon. After all, China already has a plan to review every single social media comment. That includes bullet chats, the annoying text that runs across the top of live Chinese videos. The new code of conduct specifically wants to censor those. How can they do that? Are their AIs powerful enough to identify and delete subversive conduct as it's being written? Or will live streaming platforms just remove this kind of interaction altogether so they don't get in trouble? Either way, like most censorship rules in China, I'm sure netizens will find some way around it. Of course, one way around censorship is to use a VPN, like Surfshark. Surfshark was recently rated Editor's Choice for the best VPN for privacy and security by PC Mag. That's because Surfshark can protect you from hackers and government surveillance when you go online. Now, you might think that only authoritarian countries like China monitor their citizens' internet behavior, but guess what? The US government does it too. That's why Surfshark keeps a server in the British Virgin Islands. You can use that for maximum privacy because the laws there allow Surfshark to not keep any user data logs. And not only is Surfshark a great VPN, it also has an excellent new antivirus feature. It can scan your devices for viruses and malware. It can do it in real time too. When you download or install software, it can warn you right away if there's a potential threat. So if you haven't yet, check out Surfshark. Surfshark has always offered our fans a great deal, but this month, it's even better. When you sign up using the link below, you'll get 83% off a 2-year plan, plus 3 extra months for free, plus the new Surfshark antivirus for free. So go to surfshark.com/uncensored and use the code uncensored to secure this deal. The link is below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching China Uncensored.